Now, Israel says it has reopened the Kerem Shalom border crossing to humanitarian aid for Gaza. This comes days after it closed the crossing following a rocket attack by Hamas that killed 4 of its soldiers and wounded over a dozen. In a joint statement with COGAT, the defense ministry body that oversees Palestinian civil affairs, said that trucks from Egypt carrying humanitarian aid, including food, water, shelter equipment, medicine and medical equipment donated by the international community, have started arriving at the crossing, adding that the supplies will be transferred to the Gaza side of the crossing after undergoing inspection. Yesterday, the White House said that Israel's blockade of crossings into Gaza had come as a setback to aid delivery. The Pentagon said it had received an assurance that Israel would reopen the crossings for much-needed aid to flow in.
Well, we don't support the closing of these land routes. We want to see humanitarian aid to continue to get in. And so I think that was something that the president spoke to in his call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, is that we do want to see these crossings open.
On Tuesday, Israeli troops seized control of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt. Tel Aviv launched an incursion into the eastern sector of the city. While the Rafah crossing continues to remain closed and Kerem Shalom operational for aid delivery, the United States has said that the construction of the Gaza aid pier had been completed and would be operational soon. The other 2 crossings, Erez Crossing and Gate 96, are also open. The United Nations has warned that Rafah has just 1 week of food supplies, urging the crossings to be opened and food aid be allowed in.
Most of the food dispatch and distribution in the south have been suspended since yesterday, as partner-made warehouses are in the part of Rafah that has been affected by hostilities. It is estimated that most of the partners will run out of food stock to support people in the south of Wadi Gaza by the end of the week.
Now, correspondent Jody Cohen has more on this.
So I think there are 3 key questions at the moment. What's happening in Rafah, what's happening with the aid, and what's happening with the hostage talks. On Rafah, Israel says it's carrying out targeted operations in Hamas's last stronghold to put pressure on Hamas. And the IDF said it took efforts to evacuate civilians and has taken control of the Gazan side of the Rafah crossing. On aid, the Rafah crossing is temporarily closed, and the plan is reportedly for a private security firm to manage it rather than Hamas, to prevent smuggling. Now, the Kerem Shalom crossing has reopened after Hamas's attacks on Monday and Tuesday. The other crossings are open, and the US has said it's finished building the new aid pier. And on the hostage talks, while Hamas said that they accepted Israel's offer, mediators are reportedly frustrated by Hamas's new demands, and reports are saying that large gaps remain between the sides. So, for example, Israel is calling for the release of living hostages in the first phase of the deal, while Hamas says it could release dead hostages. Hamas wants Israel to have no say on which Palestinian security prisoners Israel releases, while Israel doesn't want to release those with most blood on their hands. And Hamas wants a permanent ceasefire before all the hostages are returned. Israel would end the war, it says, after the hostages are home, as long as Hamas is no longer in power on Israel's border. Meanwhile, the talks are set to continue on Wednesday.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.